Welcome to Friday Night Lights here on Oneburg. It is week 3 across the WPIL. I am Troup, joined by Mitch Montani, live from Big Mac Stadium in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, Washington County, where tonight Armstrong will battle Cannon Mac in a 5A, 6A non-conference game. And Mitch, at least for these two teams, it'll be the final tune-up before conference play starts next week.
Yes, absolutely. And that's really when things start to kick off for pretty much everybody in the WPIAL, because those are the games that matter most when it comes to getting into the playoffs and securing good seeding for the playoffs. And so it's the final tune-up. And then next week, for most of these teams, the action starts.
Hard to believe it's week 3 already of the WPIL high school football season. Teams that participated in week 0 are now facing their 4th game of the season. Let's take a look around the WPIL for the top matchups tonight. We're going to start with one that you chuckled a little bit at, Hempfield at North Allegheny, which is a 6A conference game between those two teams. But Hempfield's undefeated. They're 3-0, as is North Allegheny. Hempfield in a little bit of uncharted territory. North Allegheny not. They're always undefeated. But Hempfield is surprised that we're not.
Yes, and I give credit to mention this on the show.
Hempfield hurt. He didn't make the playoffs.
And they started this season 3. So they have the longest win streak. Pretty much every prediction in Avery, but at the very top of their place, this team Hempfield takes the weight of this one.
North Allegheny he had a scare against Woodland Hills and season open. We come back-to-back Mercy shutout games against Gateway and Cannon Hills in the last 2 weeks. We got a good one at running back at Johan, Brad, Brady, excuse me, as well. Second quarterback position for Hempfield. They're rebuilding things. I have the most of North Allegheny through those 2 teams. Pick off at 7. Thomas Jackson City, and I'm like, I don't know, Mitch. DJ's 3-0. I'm going to win this 3-0. The other way, that was a big statement for them. Meanwhile, today, they will continue to roll for the season. This is a matchup between the champions from a year ago.
That's really awesome. Because not only do they can't make it bigger surprise being confident, they have kickstarted the 5 season, and they look poised to pretty darn good stuff.
That's a great atmosphere. Everything that happened there, if you're looking for like PIL high school football thing, you can do the fight. I highly advise you to check out that. Now, they are 1-1 in the season. They play at an undefeated varsity. It's 3-0. The plan is to beat 2 Class 5A teams and a reigning Class 3A conference champion on the road to start the season to remain undefeated. This will be the first home game of the year for Mars. Lost by 25 points a year ago to the Alabama team. Like Wilfield, Clippa, and so far, mixed results for the football. Williams, yes, and of course, we talked about that loss against Davenport. I think gave a lot of people a little bit of a odd taste about the Whips. Not sure how to feel about how quick the season, but they'll get better as the year goes on. That's a good football game. What's Canon 1, Mars doing? Okay, it's 7 shots. What's this game's on 7? Other than I hope they'll do it all game against 30. They're going to be special. You're going to throw a little bit of game off. Our next team to feature is Penn Trafford at Woodland Hills. Penn Trafford's 3-0, undefeated on the season. Woodland Hills is 1-2. 1-2 record for the Wolverines. They do not be fooled. They've had some really tough competition to open up the 2025 season for the Wolverines. And tonight they'll be facing a Penn Trafford team that remains undefeated on the season at 3-0. And they have a very good running game. Ben Grabowski's their one of their big players, and he returns tonight after injury. Meanwhile, the Wolverines are led by NC State recruit Siggy Moore. weak pace is a Woodland Hills team that's looking to get back to 500 tonight at home at the Wolverine against Penn Trafford.
Yeah, Penn Trafford's going to be there till the end, pretty much in 5A. You know, expect that. Woodland Hills has tested themselves through the first 3 weeks. Their 2 losses are to the 2 top teams in Class 6A, Central Catholic and North Allegheny. So Woodland Hills is a pretty good team, and for Penn Trafford, excuse me, that's never an easy place to go and play. They overlay one of the toughest environments in the district.
Another great top environment place to go to down in Turtle Creek. So check out Woodland Hills. That's a fun place to watch a high school football game. That brings us to our game here tonight between Armstrong, who is 1-2 on the season, against a Canon Mac team that's also 1-2 on the year. Let's set the scene here. Warming up behind it. All yellow uniforms. I've heard of you for this home game, second of 3 straight home games here on the season. We'll host Mount Lebanon next week. They beat South Fayette last week, 37-28. Did that game eventually came back for that first season. And for Armstrong, the Riverhawks are 1-2 out of the Class 5A Big East Conference. Very big conference in Big East. You got that Penn Trafford team that we just talked about, Kissimmee and the Pro, Franklin Regional Gateway. They lost 56-28 at Bethel Park last week. They come down 79 to face Cannon Mac and see if they can get the.
Yeah, Armstrong was in Class 4A a couple of seasons ago, and they were having a good bit of success. But since then, they've come up to Class 5A, didn't fit conference 2 years ago. They have struggled. So Armstrong is in the midst of a little bit of a tough stretch, and they had another tough opponent in the school tonight. We'll see if they're able to hold it.
Big Macs rolled in this game from a year ago when they met 45-35 team that was playing Armstrong. It's about an hour and a half, give or take, here from Canonsburg. So not a close school knowledge-wise or distance-wise. Traffic between these 2 schools with the Riverhawks and the Big Macs. Just a couple other notes for this game. Quinn Olsen, the wide receiver for Armstrong, is the number 1 wide receiver in the WPIL. 25 catches, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns. On the Cannon Mac side, they have the number 20 passer. High Jasmine, at 6'1", 190. Mitch, he scores for 480 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So some of the top 25 players in the Whitfield do that.
Yeah, you want to keep it because we're not going to be weak. It's all. It's conference play. Those are the games that are going to be the most. So tonight's really the last chance to get it right. Go into this very, very tough.
Let's get to our picks here in week 3. We'll start with Penfield and North Allegheny. The Spartans 3-0. North Allegheny 3-0.
I think you know I'm going to this, but drops to Hempfield. They've had a heck of a start to this team, and they're riding high. But I think they're going to be complicated tonight.
If this game's in Westmoreland County, I might give Hempfield a little bit more of a chance in this one. But the Tigers at home, unbeatable. Hempfield maybe gives them a game, but I think North Allegheny again comes away fairly easily. Thomas Jefferson at Avonworth. This is a great game. Jaguars 3-0, Avonworth 3-0. The defending Class 3A and Class 4A.
This is a tough one for me. I think this one comes down to less than 10 points. That's a rarity, I think, in most cases in high school football. But give me Thomas Jefferson. They're the biggest school in the Class 3A champ. Facing the Class 3A defending champ tonight, but TJ is always a tough one.
We have our first disagreement tonight. I'm going to go with the Wolves in an upset at home against CJ. I'll take Avonworth. I'll a couple more.
Give me a flip up. I think they're in need of a little bit some forward momentum. Give me the quickest ones.
I'm going to take Morris and Home. We go to 4 now. So this and I have our second. This is 3. And by the way, if anybody watches us each Friday night, we're usually in maybe 1 disagreement. I've got 2 in a row. Let's see if we can make it 30 Penn Trafford, 3-0 Woodland Hills.
I think we're going to very fantastic to start doing 2 against myself.
I like the Wolverine. Again, that brings us to our next game. Behind us, warming up the Big Macs versus Armstrong. Who do you like? Armstrong 1-2, and that 1-2. One of these 2 teams gets back in line.
You said it earlier, Cannon like 10 points last year. I think If they could just come a little bit closer, so too, I like the just so he's got good looks tonight, like working on the game at home against Penfield. We split like TJ afterwards. This like TJ, I like afterwards. We split one out from the morning. You like the away team, I like the home team. You like the first, I like the like. We both like Woodland Hills. So we both and this looks to be a beautiful night on the line. I'll 75 degrees. We'll take that. Yeah, we have a little lightning delay here. Tonight, we're not going to have to worry about that at all. It was beautiful. Good night. Football. Again, great night. I'm excited. This tonight, we'll have the call at 7 o'clock on the Fifth Live High School Sports Network. Part of the Fan and Max Sports Network. This is Dennis Day for live video production of this game. We're excited about it. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you next week here on Florida Night. This is here from Big Mac Stadium. Battle and Strong Riverhawks kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. Enjoy week 3.